You ever notice how you'll spend 20 minutes deciding whether to buy a $60 pair of shoes, but you'll sign a 6-year car loan in under 4 minutes? Or how you'll argue with yourself for a week over buying a $12 monthly subscription, but then casually skip reading the terms of the biggest financial commitments of your life? Here's the weird part. Rich people do the opposite. They barely think about the small stuff, but they analyze the big decisions so deeply it almost looks obsessive. And that right there, that imbalance is why so many people stay stuck financially without even realizing it. My name is Nico, and I spend way too much time thinking about why people make money decisions the way they do. If you're someone who constantly feels like, am I making the right financial decision? Why do rich people seem so calm while I stress about everything? How come I work so hard but my money never gives me any leverage? Then hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up if it helps you out, because today we're breaking down the rich person's decision-making framework. It's simple, it's brutal, and once you understand it, you'll never look at a financial decision the same way again. Let's get into it. Section 1. The hidden reason. Poor and middle-class people stay stuck. Here's the thing. Most people think wealth comes from working harder, getting a better job, saving more, living frugally, being responsible. But none of those guarantee wealth. If hard work created wealth, construction workers would be millionaires. If being responsible created wealth, school teachers would retire rich. Here's what most people don't realize. Wealth doesn't come from effort. It comes from decisions. Specifically, the quality, timing, and size of the decisions you make. Section 1.1. The decision hierarchy. Most people are stuck at the bottom. There are 3 levels of financial decision-making. Level 1, survival decisions. Most people. Can I afford this right now? Will my card decline? Which bill can I push to next month? This level drains your mental bandwidth so much that you can't think beyond the next 24 hours. Level 2, comfort decisions. Middle-class trap. Should I get the slightly nicer car? Should I upgrade to the premium plan? Should I get a vacation loan? These decisions feel big, but they're meaningless in the long term. Level 3, leverage decisions. Rich people. What creates more future options? What grows? What dies? And what scales? How will this decision affect me 10 years from now? Rich people operate almost exclusively at level 3. A poor person asks, what does this cost me today? A rich person asks, what does this cost me for the next decade? That mental shift alone is worth tens of millions over a lifetime. Section 2, why rich people make faster and better decisions. Now you might be thinking, but don't rich people overthink everything? No, they actually make decisions much faster. A 2023 study from the American Institute of Behavioral Economics found that wealthy individuals make routine financial decisions 4 times faster than middle-income earners. But here's the twist. They make fast decisions because they decided the rules years ago. Regular people start from zero every time. Should I finance this? Should I invest here? Should I start this? Rich people already have frameworks that automatically eliminate 90% of options. So they're not deciding, they're filtering. Section 2.1, the rich person's 4-filter system. Let me break it down because this is the core of everything. Wealthy people run almost every decision through 4 brutal filters. Filter 1, does this increase or decrease my time freedom? If something costs money but gives back time, they lean toward yes. If something gives pleasure but consumes time, they lean toward no. Example, poor person. I can save $40 by assembling this furniture myself. Rich person. I'll spend $40 to avoid wasting 2 hours. Because rich people understand this. Money is infinite. Time is not. Filter 2. Does this create future cash flow? Most people buy liabilities that produce 0 return. New phones, designer clothing, a car they can't afford, a bigger house for no reason. Rich people ask one question. Will this pay me back? If the answer is no, the decision almost always dies instantly. Filter 3. What's the long-term compounding effect? This is where it gets really interesting. Most people think linearly. This costs $100. This earns me $20. Rich people think exponentially. This $100 could become $10,000 over 20 years. So a rich person doesn't see $100. They see the lost compounding of that $100. This is why they're cheap about certain things. Does this increase or reduce optionality? Optionality equals the power to choose. The rich protect optionality like a religion because optionality is where opportunity comes from. If something locks them into a rigid commitment, even if it looks financially attractive, they hesitate. This is why wealthy people avoid long-term financing, long-term employment contracts, long-term dependency, long-term commitments that limit pivoting. The middle class seeks security. The wealthy seek optionality. Section 3, the math behind rich versus normal. Decision making. Let's get into some actual numbers because this is where the psychology meets math. Example 1, the car decision. Middle class logic, new car is $35,000. Monthly payment $580. I can manage that. Rich person logic. $35,000 invested at 8% for 20 years becomes $162,000. So the question isn't, can I afford the car? It's, is this car worth $162,000 of my future wealth? And suddenly, the decision changes. Example 2. Eating out. You think you're paying $18 for a meal, $6 for a coffee, $22 for takeout. But the rich see $18 times 300 meals per year equals $5,400. Compounded for 20 years equals $26,000, which could produce $2,000 a year in passive income forever. So the rich aren't saying don't eat out. They're saying don't lie to yourself about the true cost. Example 3, time versus money. Let's say task takes you 2 hours. You value your time at $20 per hour. Outsourcing cost is $35 middle-class logic. Why pay someone $35? I'll do it myself. Rich logic. My 2 hours are worth $40. Outsourcing saves me $5 in value plus frees up time. This is why wealthy people outsource aggressively. They're not lazy. They're optimizing. Section 4. The psychology of rich decision-making. This is the part no one talks about. You can teach someone math, but teaching them the psychology behind decisions is way harder because financial decisions are emotional, not logical. Here are the psychological shifts rich people have that others don't. Shift 1. Rich people aren't afraid of being wrong. Poor people fear losing money. Rich people fear losing opportunity. So they make quicker, larger decisions because they trust their research. They accept calculated risk. They know reversibility matters more than perfection. Most decisions can be reversed, but most people delay as if every decision is permanent. Shift 2. Rich people seek discomfort. Poor and middle-class people want comfort now. Rich people want comfort later, so they'll tolerate tight budgets, early long nights, uncertain outcomes, slow initial results because they aren't optimizing for 12 months. They're optimizing for 12 years. Shift 3. Rich people don't prioritize looking rich. This is huge. Poor people want to look rich. Middle-class people want to feel rich. Rich people just want to be rich. That's why they drive older cars longer, delay luxury purchases, don't care about brand signaling, buy assets before lifestyle upgrades. The psychology is completely flipped. Shift 4. Nestoy, rich people treat money as a tool. Most people treat money as a reward, a symbol, a comfort mechanism, a stress reliever. Rich people treat money as fuel, leverage, a multiplier. And once you think of money as a tool instead of a comfort blanket, your entire framework changes. Section 5. The wealth loop. How rich decisions reinforce each other. There's a loop wealthy people run that compounds over time. 1. They avoid decisions that shrink optionality. 2. They prioritize decisions that grow cash flow. 3. Their cash flow increases time freedom. 4. Increased time freedom improves decision quality. 5. Higher decision quality creates more wealth, which then loops back to the beginning. Poor and middle-class people run the opposite loop. Take on commitments, lose optionality, lose time, stress increases, decision quality decreases, money tightens, repeat, one loop goes up, one loop goes down. Section 6, objection breaker, but rich people already have money. Now you might be thinking, of course rich people make better decisions. They already have money, but the truth is they have money because they make better decisions. Here's a brutal stat from the National Bureau of Financial Research. 67% of American millionaires are first-generation rich. They didn't inherit anything. They made decisions differently for 10 to 20 years, and the compounding did the rest. You don't need to be rich to start thinking like the rich. The thinking comes decision first. Rules rich people use. Actionable. Here's the actual framework you can steal. Word for word. These are the rules wealthy people apply almost automatically. Rule 1. If it doesn't matter in 5 years, it doesn't matter today. This alone removes 70% of pointless purchases. Rule 2. Never finance anything that doesn't pay you. Cars? No. Furniture? No. Travel? No. Assets only. Rule 3. Never increase lifestyle before increasing cash flow. Income goes up, lifestyle stays the same until assets catch up. Rule 4, right? Price is irrelevant. Value is everything. They don't ask, is it expensive? They ask, is it worth it? Rule 5, delegate anything that costs you more time than money. If it costs less than your hourly value, outsource it. Rule 6, never rely on one source of income. One income is a single point of failure. Rule 7, invest in skills before investments. A skill can 10 times your income. A stock rarely will. Section 8, a story to tie this together. Let me tell you a quick story. A guy making $48,000 a year asked his wealthy mentor, "What's the first thing I should do to get rich?" The mentor didn't say invest. He didn't say budget. He didn't say save. He said, fix your decision making. Then he gave him one exercise. Before buying anything over $50, ask yourself, does this make my life bigger or smaller. Within 1 year, he paid off debt, saved his first $10,000, built a small side business, increased his income 40%. Not because of hacks, because he changed how he made decisions. Section 9. Final breakdown. The simple versus brutal truth. Here's the simple but brutal truth. You are one or two decision frameworks away from a completely different financial life. Not a different job, not a different budget, not a different income. Different decisions. If you change how you decide, you change how you live. Look, you don't have to be a millionaire today, but if you want to become one someday, you need to start making decisions like one today. If this video helped shift your perspective even a little, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe for more financial deep dives, and let me know in the comments. Which decision will hit you the hardest? I read every single one. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.